Hello everybody, and welcome to this spoiler review for The Revenant. The Revenant is the latest, how do you say his name? Alejandro González Iñárritu's film. He did Birdman last year, won Best Director and Best Picture for that. Definitely deserving so, it was a great movie. And this time he comes in with The Revenant, which is based on a true story. Loosely. The Revenant follows Hugh Glass and a bunch of frontiersmen who are basically out pelt hunting. And what ends up happening is Hugh Glass, who is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, who has been nominated once again for Best Actor at the Oscars. This movie's been nominated for 12 Oscars, by the way, and I'll run down those in a second. Yeah, Hugh Glass's character ends up going out and he's on the hunt and everything, and he ends up getting completely wrecked. I mean, mauled by a bear. The bear ends up attacking him and everything, and it's a riveting scene, a great piece of cinema, actually, the way they incorporated the live action and the practical and CG moments. There are actually, I believe, two guys, I don't remember their names, that kind of motion captured the bear attack and everything, and then they CGI'd a bear, which looks real in the movie, over top of where those guys were. The scene is riveting. It is ridiculous, and it actually happens fairly early in the film. There's an amazing sequence, almost something out of Saving Private Ryan, in the beginning of the movie. This takes place in like the early 1800s, so it's these frontiersmen and everything. They've got like these big musket guns and everything, so it's very riveting, and they get attacked by Indians and everything, Native Americans. And knowing Alejandro González Iñárritu's film style from Birdman, he likes to use long, unbroken takes, and it works for this movie. Personally, it worked better for Birdman. One of the big selling points of this movie is the fact that it was shot all in natural light, which actually helps the movie in its realism. This movie has some great, for its 2-hour and 36-minute runtime, it has some ridiculous looking shots that you're just like, how in the world did they get that? The downside is there's not a whole lot of substance. I love the movie, and I'll give my score in a minute, but my gripes with the movie are it's a little bit too long, and it does mess with the history and everything for tones and everything in the movie. The ending was kind of underwhelming to me. The last shot, I'll say, not the actual ending, but the last shot was kind of underwhelming, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. I think they should have done it a different way. But overall, I did like the movie. I'm going to give the movie a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a fantastic art film. Don't go into this movie thinking, oh man, it's a survival story. Well, because it is a survival story. And the things that Leo DiCaprio has to do in this movie are ridiculous, and he deserves an Oscar for it. Finally, again, this is a spoiler review, he gets completely wrecked by a bear. And you feel that what happens to him and everything, that scene is so riveting. There's a point when the bear's like claw is like on his face, pushing it into the ground, and he's just like, ugh. And it's just like, oh, like you can feel the tension. You can feel when the rain is pouring on them, or the snow, and when he's cold, you're cold. Tom Hardy is brilliant in this movie. He does some of the Tom Hardy mumble, kind of stuff, but it works for his character and everything. He's him and Will Poulter. Actually, Will Poulter is very good in this movie. But let's run down the list here of some of the things that it was nominated for. Oscar-wise, this movie was nominated for Best Picture, obviously, Best Performance by a Lead, and Lead Actor and Supporting Actor, Leo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy. Achievement in Direction, Cinematography. If it doesn't win for Cinematography, I don't know what will. Film Editing, I don't know about that one. I'll have to see what else is nominated, but we'll see. Costume Design, Hair and Makeup, yes, should win for Costume Design and Hair and Makeup. Sound Mixing and Sound Editing. No. Sorry. It's a good sound. Visual effects, probably. I mean, Star Wars is also nominated, and I have a soft spot for Star Wars, so I don't know, we'll see. And then obviously for production design, definitely should win for production design. This movie was nominated for 12 Oscars. It should win half of them. One of those should be lead actor. Please. Academy, give Leo the Oscar he deserves. So it's been 5 tries. This dude had to climb inside of a horse. Like, there's a scene literally in this movie where he's being chased and everything, and it's in the trailer. He's being chased, and him and this horse go over this ridge. And you're like, dude, did he break anything? And maybe he did or whatnot. And he's like, ugh. So he gets up, the horse is dead and whatnot, takes out like a knife or whatever, cuts open the horse, takes out everything in it, strips down and gets inside of this thing to stay warm for the night. You've got to be kidding me. The dude gets mauled by a bear, and then he has to climb inside of a frickin' horse. Here's the Oscar. So, I mean, The Revenant, to me, it's a little bit too long, not a whole lot of substance. Great looking film. Acting is superb. The look, the cinematography, the production design. It has everything to make a great movie, and it is a great movie. Personally, Birdman, to me, had more substance, if we're talking about Inarritu's filmography here. Personally, to me, Birdman was a bit better film, but it had less production qualities and design than this movie. Also, the continuous take thing worked better in Birdman. It works good in this, and what's interesting is that there are moments I felt like I'm watching almost like a documentary about this, which is nice, but the camera movement back between a Tom Hardy and a Will Poulter scene or something like that, it didn't feel like the camera isn't even there. You know, it didn't feel like that. It felt like there's someone filming this, doing this. That's kind of what it felt like. And there were scenes where Leo DiCaprio has to crawl places, and it felt like it dragged, pardon the pun, but it felt like this. It kind of felt like everything kind of dragged. There should have been some parts they could have cut out and stuff. There are some like dreamlike sequences and things that didn't really work for me. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10 because I thought it was just an achievement in movie making and film overall. So in everything I've read about how this movie had to get made and everything, the incredible stuff behind the scenes and the work schedule and whatnot, and the harsh climate that this movie had to be made in, and also the natural light thing. I think that's just a huge thing that goes into production design. So guys, The Revenant, have you seen it? What did you think? Comment below about that kind of stuff. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. Again, I give the movie a 9.5 out of 10. Really liked it, but it was a little bit too long and everything. Yeah, again, definitely go see it, and I hope this movie wins quite a few Oscars. So again, guys, thank you for watching my videos, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.